We're set for the introduction of the Hertz starting lineups.
Features the Dallas Mavericks and your New York Knicks. Here tonight's starting lineups. First for the Mavericks. At guard at 6'4" from Illinois, number 12, Captain Derek Harper. At guard at 6'6" from Ohio State, number 24, Jim Jackson. At forward at 6'8" from Kentucky, number 32, Jamal Mashburn. At forward at 6'8" from Murray State, number 54, Popeye Jones. And at center at 6'10" from Arizona, number 45, Sean Rooks. The trainer is Doug Atkinson. Assistant coaches Tom Newell, Randy Whitman, and Greg Ballard. And the head coach, Quinn Buckner. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'5" from Oklahoma State, number 3, John Starks. At guard at 6'2" from UNLV, number 50, Greg Anthony. At forward at 6'7" from Ohio State, number 9, Tony Campbell. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Oakley. And at center at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, co-captain Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders. The assistant trainer, Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches are Dick Carter and Jeff Van Gundy. And the head coach of the Knicks, Pat Riley.
Well, the crowd here at the Garden will have more than passing interest in the play of that man, Derek Harper, who matches up with Greg Anthony. What with all the trade rumors concerning Harper coming to the Knicks, perhaps in a deal involving Greg Anthony, is there additional incentive tonight for Derek? We talked about that with him.
I'm excited about the game. I mean, I think I've been excited for 10 years coming to New York to play. Walt Frazier is my childhood idol or what have you, and I enjoy coming here to play. But you know, as far as he's concerned, I'm just going to come out and play my game. I'm not going to do anything different. I think over the last 10 years, what I've done has worked, so I'm going to do it the same way. I'm not going to change tonight because it's a different circumstance.
Well, Marv, the attitude of the Dallas Mavericks, Rick Sun, their head of basketball operations, is they will trade anyone on this team to make them a better club. We'll start with that. They'll trade this man, but only if the deal is right, as most teams will say.
All right, the officials, Dick Pavetta, Don Baden, and Monty McCutcheon. And the Knicks control the opening tip, and here's Anthony matched with Harper. Starks for Ewing. And he lost it.
Mentally, coming into this game, Marv, I think that the Knicks should feel that this is a confidence builder, obviously, against this downtrodden team, and they should be loose and get back into a very positive way of thinking after dropping that game in Chicago the other night and putting up a performance that Pat Riley was very disappointed in, particularly the first half.
Nice pass. Starks finding Campbell, and he drew the foul. What was most unusual about the game the other night, in fact, Knicks shot 52%, and the Bulls at 57% from the field. Mashburn was called for the foul, and Tony Campbell, who comes off a 7 of 11 shooting performance for a season-high 14 points, hits his first of 2. There's Doc Rivers, who we're told will undergo the knee surgery tomorrow at Beth Israel Hospital. Surgery to be performed by the Knicks team physician, Dr. Norman Scott. So Doc on the bench tonight, and tomorrow the big day.
Doc and Doc are going to get together in the morning, huh?
All right, Oakley with the steal. Here's Starks. Rebounded by Sean Rooks. Mashburn to the open floor. Local product Jamal Mashburn. who's averaging close to 20 points per game. Harper tried to use a pick. This is Popeye Jones going cross court. Picked off by Tony Campbell. It's a 3-on-1. Nice delivery for Anthony. So the Knicks off to a 4-0 lead.
I don't remember when I've seen Greg Anthony make a layup with the right hand.
And a very early 20-second timeout taken by Quinn Buckner, a minute and 15 in.
Well, the Knicks with their pressing defense and the combination of that and the poor ball handling by the Mavericks result in Tony Campbell delivering a nice bounce pass to Greg Anthony at the end of that play. You know the Knicks want to run tonight against the Mavs. A much more fun game when you're making layup attempts instead of long jump shots, and the Knicks should get plenty of those opportunities tonight, also with Patrick Ewing's defensive intimidation as well.
Earlier this season, Quinn Buckner called a timeout 24 seconds into the game. Quinn obviously not happy with the 3 quick turnovers by Dallas, and make it turnover number 4. It has been a very difficult time for the rookie coach, Quinn Buckner. So 4 turnovers, no field goal attempts for the Mavericks here at the start. Brooks with the rebound. Knicks with a 4-0 lead. 2 minutes have gone by. This is Jim Jackson putting the move on John Starks. And that was their first field goal attempt. Starks behind the back for Campbell. 6-0 Knicks.
I hate to see a guard come over half court as Jimmy Jackson did with his 4 teammates in front of him and shoot the ball.
Mashburn guarded by Campbell. The steal by Starks is held by Jones. Popeye Jones, rookie from Murray State, called for the foul, preventing the Knicks fast break.
Just to continue that point, Marvin, with the guard coming off over half court as Jackson did and shooting the ball with his teammates in front of him, basically they're flat-footed, and when they're flat-footed there's no motion, and the price was paid because the Knicks took that ball off the backboard and just beat them down on a 3-on-1 layup situation.
And that is a double dribble called on Tony Campbell. The Dallas Mavericks last played Saturday night in Houston, lost to the Rockets 104-93. Dallas shot a season high 49%. Mashburn had 30 points. Jim Jackson had a season high of 27. Sean Rooks to the fadeaway. Rebound, Popeye Jones. Nice move by Jones, who's averaging 9 rebounds per game, which leads all NBA rookies.
His particular strength is offensive rebounding, as the Knicks just witnessed.
Jones stepping out on a switch. Oakley open. Yes. And the Knicks with an 8-2 lead on the Mavericks. The only win this season for the Mavericks at Minnesota on November the 12th. They are 1-21. It's the second longest losing streak in the Dallas Mavericks franchise history. The longest, 19 in a row. That was last season. And a foul against the Knicks. Well, take a look at this. The last 3 years, you had the 19 in a row from February 6th through March the 6th. The 18 straight right now. Several other losing streaks in there. Tony Campbell called for that foul, putting Jamal Mashburn on the line.
Well, a big thing for the Mavs, assuming they're going to lose here tonight, Marvin. Of course, that's always a dangerous word to say in any sport. But tomorrow, or Wednesday rather, they go to Milwaukee, and Thursday to Minnesota. So they're looking to see that streak end that they established for themselves last year with that 19 earlier this year.
This is game 2 of a 4-game 6-day trip. John Starks extending to a 10-2 Knick lead. John Starks in the midst of a mini slump, trying to shoot his way out of it. Timeout is taken by Dallas. 8:05 remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks off to a 10-2 lead with 4 minutes gone by. Harper played by Anthony. This is Jones guarded by Oakley. Jackson. Shot clock at 5. Off the head fake. Jim Jackson line drives it home. Nice move. Jim Jackson in his second year out of Ohio State, and a foul call. It's on Harper. Jim Jackson, the guy who said he'd never play for the Mavericks. Well, he certainly has in a big way. Ended a long holdout by signing a 6-year contract last March. Played in 28 games, averaged 16 points per game.
The Mavericks feel really that this is his rookie season, not last year. That's how they're taking him in now, and how his play has been developing.
Campbell rejected by Rooks, who was helping out, and that is another Dallas turnover. Palming violation on Mashburn. 6th turnover of this first quarter. The Knicks 10 and Dallas 4. Rick Anthony lost it. Harper with the steal, and Harper puts it away.
Well, that says a lot right there. Greg Anthony was trying to call out a play, and once he didn't started to get rolling, Harper just took it right away.
Oakley, strong move by Charles Oakley, going at Popeye Jones. The Knicks 12, the Mavericks 6. And make it turnover number 7.
Derek Harper a moment ago, as Greg started to accelerate, made a very difficult steal, that reach-in type steal, without committing a foul.
Brooks stepping out on a switch. Ewing for Oakley. Oakley on the tip. Nice pass by Ewing, but Oakley could not convert.
My feeling, Marv, is that a man Oakley's size in that situation should never, ever miss that shot.
Dallas still with more turnovers than field goal attempts. Rooks. Jones. He was pushed. So Jones will go to the foul line. Popeye Jones out of Murray State. Second-round draft pick of the Houston Rockets last year, but chose to play in Italy, where he averaged 21 points, 13 rebounds, acquired in a deal with Houston last June. Popeye is an 80% free throw shooter. As a senior at Murray State, led the nation in rebounding, averaging better than 14 per game. The Knicks 12 and the Mavericks 7.
I was saying the amazing thing about him, as we look at full court pressure here by the Mavs, is that just about all of his rebounds, and he averages over 9, are offensive rebounds. That's a remarkable proportion.
Good fake. He threw the foul. Yes, it counts. Foul committed by Rooks.
Patrick Ewing with the hand up, reminding his teammates he wants that ball. Rooks' dad, who's a fine basketball player, I mentioned him before, Marvin, we were down there from the New York area, would not be happy with his son's defense, allowing Ewing to just coast to the position he wanted, and made it very easy for Patrick.
And Rooks able to follow that rebound down. Sean Rooks has made it back after suffering a stress fracture of the left foot. Had a good one in Houston on Saturday. Season high 18 points. Played a career high 41 minutes. It was deflected to the backcourt. Shot clock running down. It's at 3. It's at 2. Harper gets it off. Recovered by Jackson. And that prompts the reaction from the crowd. Jim Jackson with an impressive play. The Knicks lead 14-9. Starks for 3. Campbell recaptures. Here's Starks again. Campbell with the rebound. Ewing. Yes. Knicks 16, Dallas 9.
Last time John was here at the Garden against the Lakers last week, he was 1 of 11, and you know he wants to shake that poor shooting.
1 for 4 here in this first quarter. Nice play by Campbell. It's deflected out. And Dallas maintains possession with 9 on the 24. Rooks.
Well, he succeeded. He got the shot off. He was very determined to do that.
Has worked very hard on the double pump against Ewing. Charles Oakley with one of the quicker releases we have seen off the turn. And the foul is called. Basket counts. Nice play. Anthony called for the foul. Harper will go to the line.
After the Chicago game, the Knicks wanted to focus on defensive transition, and they did in practice, but it didn't pass along into this game as Derek Harper exploited the Knicks with his speed, getting down court quickly after that Oakley jump shot.
Derek Harper averaging 12 points per game. He is not a good free throw shooter at 56% from the line. Knicks 18, the Mavericks 11. Doug Smith has come on, replacing Popeye Jones. Hubert Davis has checked in for John Starks. 4 minutes to go in the first. Oakley. Oh, Charles with the touch from outside. He's hit 4 out of 6. Fast start for Oakley. 8 points.
Amazing. Greg Anthony was wide open in the corner on that play. Usually Charles passes that ball up, but he's feeling it.
The Knicks 20, Dallas 11. Jim Jackson may have shuffled his feet there and gotten away with a travel.
He can't resist shooting over the smaller guards that are guarding him. Jackson is a guard, obviously at 6'6", and he just wants to shoot virtually every time he gets it.
Ewing with the fake is called for a traveling violation. Jackson and Harper in the backcourt. Rooks with Smith and Mashburn up front. Mashburn has been quiet to this point. Rooks for Smith. Rebound, Ewing. Oakley gets down. Oakley with the drive. Oakley with the rebound. And he drew the foul. Charles Oakley will go to the line, but first a timeout has been called by the Knicks with 2:52 left in the first.
18 points, 8 out of 11 from the field to go along with 6 rebounds. Injuries have held him back this year, but he finally got into the starting lineup.
He was at odds with Quinn Buckner when we were in Dallas. Sean was coming off the injury list. He felt he was ready to play, but the coach said, no, you're not. And the discussion got into the media. Sean very unhappy. In fact, he was on the trade block for a while. Ewing with the move on Rooks.
Well, as I recall, Marv, the management at Dallas looked upon that as an athlete who wants to play. There wasn't any belligerence there. He's just hungry to play and misread his own recovery.
Jones will get the call. He gets the basket, and a foul is called. Herb Williams coming on now, replacing Patrick Ewing.
They call him Popeye. They popped that one in rather successfully. Popeye Jones is destined on a good team to be a 7th or 8th man as the Dallas Mavs look at him now. However, with playing time, you never know what can happen. He just may continue to improve, which is always the challenge of people when they get into the NBA.
Charles Oakley sitting down. He was called for that foul. Well, the basket counted, and away from the ball, the foul was called, putting Lever at the line, so it is a 3-point play. Now here's pressure being shown by Dallas. Greg Freiling has come on for the first time. He's replaced Sean Rooks. Knicks 27, Mavericks 16. 40 seconds left in this first quarter. Anthony and Davis now in the backcourt. Anthony. Well, Greg Anthony hits the jump shot, and the Knicks lead by 13.
More importantly, he looked for that shot as well.
Here's Mashburn for 3. Anthony Bonner, who just came on for Charles Oakley, tried to save it, but it was knocked out. It will be Dallas ball with 18 seconds left in this first quarter. Maver calling out a play. Good hustle by Davis to break it up. High point man for the Knicks, Charles Oakley, with 13. He hit 6 of 9 from the field. And 5 of those 6 were jump shots. Jackson setting it up. Dallas trying to hold for a final shot. Here's Mashburn shooting the 3. Jamal Mashburn with a 3-pointer. Final seconds of the quarter. Anthony across midcourt. Here's Davis for 3. Well, the Knicks did a nice job getting it down quickly, and a good shot for Davis, although he was not able to hit it. After 1, Knicks lead by 10.
Timeouts in the NBA. Earlier, Derek Harper took a 3-pointer. Immediately, Buckner rose from his seat and pulled him from the game. He didn't even look at Harper as he walked on by, and then later there were words exchanged, or earlier actually, after a timeout. Michael Kay's been over near the Dallas Mavericks bench. Mike, what did you hear?
Well, about 2:52 at the timeout. The Knicks were leading 20-11. They go through the timeout. Then Harper's coming out on the floor, and he walks up to Quinn Buckner and said, "Hey, listen, why don't you say something bleeping positive instead of negative all the time?" They had words together, and then finally Quinn Buckner said, "You just be the point guard." And Harper said, "That's right, I'll be the point guard." Yeah, right. And there's been a lot of exchanges with the fans as well.
All right, Marv, a lot of tension in Mavericks land. We'll be listening.
The only tension we have here is with Johnny Hoops. I must point out that, John, most interesting as we have Michael Kay and Al Troutwick snooping around the Dallas Maverick bench. This after I mentioned, well, things a little bit more quiet in contrast to what we saw in Dallas, but apparently the sniping continues. Well, it will be Dallas ball. Knicks turn it over on the inbounds. The Knicks 29 and the Mavericks 19. Jackson try to lead Dreiling. And now they call a jump ball.
Well, Marv, the disagreements have been well documented between that man in the center of the picture, Derek Harper, and Quinn Buckner, the new coach, and their chief operating officer and general manager. It's Tom Newell, by the way, one of the assistant coaches, speaking to the players. But Norm Sanju, their general manager, along the way has said to Quinn, "You've got to become more player friendly." And it's unfortunate for Quinn Buckner, a guy whose career has been characterized by smiling faces around him as a player, as a winner, as a television commentator. It's so ironic that he finds himself right early in his coaching career in this position of anger surrounding him, and of course he is at the center of the situation. It's a strange twist that I don't think anybody could have predicted.
Well, he knew when he took the job that it would not be a pleasant situation right at the start, but I don't think he thought it would be this bad. It really, I think there was hope with Jim Jackson having some games under his belt. Anthony is fouled. Foul called on Dreiling, with the addition of Jamal Mashburn, and I know they thought well of Sean Rooks coming off last season. Now certainly he knew it would be one of the worst teams in the NBA, but I don't think he thought it would be this bad.
Well, you have to think too, Marv, at least basketball people who've watched Quinn and his career, you have to think he must be affected by a man who he greatly respects, and that is Indiana coach Bob Knight, his coach in college, a guy who has gone through his career fighting his way through his professional career as a coach. Certainly Quinn, I would assume, has brought some of the methods of Bob Knight to his own style, which that kind of style doesn't fit Quinn's personality.
Mason called on that foul. No, that is not Quinn, at least the way I knew him at NBC, but he is greatly influenced, as you say, by Bobby Knight. Herb Williams, the one-time Maverick, nearly picked it off, but did not control. The ball goes back to Dallas. I would think Quinn is also searching for his identity. I don't think he knows who he is as a coach. No coaching experience. The guy has been a winner most of his life on various levels. Personally, a terrific guy, but you know, if you haven't done it, you haven't sat on a bench for a couple of years and gone through all the X's and O's. That's Lucius Harris, rookie from Long Beach State, hitting on the drive. It's very difficult if you haven't sat there and experienced it, and I think Quinn is searching. So a minute and a half gone by in this second quarter. Timeout is called. On the subject of former NBC commentators, so nice of the electronic wizard Howie Singer to come up with this particular stat line. Bill Parcells, formerly of NBC, off the victory yesterday, has upped his record to 3-11. The czar of the telestrator, also I should point out, coming off a 30-point victory over the Lakers. Sound like an NBC homer here, sticking up for the czar, which is most unusual for me. He is now 8-14 in a difficult season that has been marred by injuries to a couple of key players, in particular Larry Nance, and Quinn's record certainly does not help the cause there. 1-21.
Proving, Marv, once again that nice guys can lose.
Yes. Anthony for Williams. And last touch by the Knicks. Mavericks are down now by 6 points. They trailed by as many as 14. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Maver guarded by Anthony. Harris checking the shot clock. Down to 3. Down to 1. Dreiling, too late. 24-second violation.
I will say this about Greg Dreiling, Marv.
Yes.
He looks in good shape.
Yes, that's very nice.
They're quite lean. He's had 6 starts prior to their last game in their starting center. Now that Rooks is back, he's lost that position.
Greg has lost some weight. Greg Dreiling spent 7 years with the Indiana Pacers before moving on to the Dallas Mavericks. Mashburn was all over Mason, who was able to lead Anthony, and a foul is called. Anthony was greeted with that hit. And it's called on Dreiling.
Well, backdoor move by Greg Anthony, getting position and then getting the nice return pass. Another look at it now. Mason throwing the good pass. Bounce passes are easy to catch, much easier than from one hand right to the target midair. Now this is an area where the Knicks want to spend more time. I think it was very disappointing for the Knicks in Chicago to only go to the line 13 times in the entire game. Matter of fact, Marv, I was looking at some of the Knicks big men in that game against Chicago. Tony Campbell and Oakley, both starters. Mason off the bench, Bonner. They all equaled 98 minutes of playing time. Not one foul shot in 98 minutes from those 4 big men.
The Knicks 31, the Mavericks 23. Mashburn. Rebounded by Bonner. Bonner behind the back, going all the way and not able to hit. What a play, though, by Bonner. Mason missed the reverse. That's a phase of Anthony Bonner's game we have not seen. Lucius Harris picked up by Anthony Bonner. The switch leaves a mismatch between Greg Anthony and Jamal Mashburn. Dallas tried to take advantage. The Knicks did double up, and a foul was called. It's on Dallas. Apparently a 3-second violation.
That's what happens a lot of times when a mismatch occurs. Everybody stands still waiting for the team to react to the mismatch. In the process, a 3-second violation ensues.
John Starks check back in. It's Mason, Williams, Bonner up front. And the foul called on Jones. Called for the push. Jim Jackson returning, replacing Jamal Mashburn, who was only 1 of 4 3 points. That's Derek Harper walking over the scorer's table, checking back in, replacing Fat Lever. Non-shooting foul. Mason will throw in. Bonner posting up on Jackson. It's a traveling violation.
He took 2 steps before he went up to the shot. Real quick steps.
Well, the Knicks in the midst of a lull. 4 minutes gone by in the second. The Knicks lead by 8, and a foul is called on Starks. That's 2 on Starks. And Pat Riley sending in the former Dallas Maverick, Rolando Blackman. You'll recall in the game in Dallas, Pat Riley, in a very nice gesture, started Rolando Blackman. He is the Mavericks' all-time leading scorer, better than 16,000 points as a member of the Mavs.
You know, Rolando's only played in 6 of the Knicks' 20 games.
High off the turnover, Starks turning Jackson around and going all the way. John Starks with the acceleration to extend the Knicks lead to 10. Jackson is being guarded by Blackman. And Jackson forced into a terrible shot.
Boy, he's no fun to play with.
Blackman way off. Jim Jackson has certainly been chucking up the shots here in the first half. Dallas takes a timeout with 5 minutes gone by in the second. He apparently has found something very unusual, John. But it's been a confusing rookie season. When he reported in October, said I wouldn't trade this situation for anything. I assume he's talking about his contract, but then November the 26th, I'm confused. Some kind of change will have to be made. What? I don't know. He and Quinn Buckner also with differences of opinion. There was a team meeting back earlier this month. Quinn said he had no problem with the suggestions that were aired in that meeting. Here's Rooks getting inside and rejected, leading to this. Starks, 24-second buzzer went off. Dallas able to recover. Mason went to the hook shot.
He really didn't have a look at the basket. I think he just kind of guessed and hoped that the soft touch would result in a hoop.
Lucius Harris not able to hit. Loose ball foul is called. It's on Blackman. Getting back to Mashburn. He had complained that Quinn Buckner's offensive ideas took away the players' ability to go on instinct and made them respond like robots. And that led to the team meeting. And supposedly, according to reports out of Dallas, Quinn Buckner did alter what had been described as an aloof approach with the players following that meeting. Jones gets inside. The basket counts and the foul. And the Mavericks have played better in recent games, although they continue to lose. They played well in losing to Houston on Saturday night. Then there was that visit by Mashburn's former coach at Kentucky, Rick Pitino.
That was a recent visit by Rick to calm him down, calm Mashburn down. He'd kind of blown his cool publicly, and Rick had planned a visit to him, and it came at an opportune time. Rick had enjoyed an excellent rapport with Jamal, and it worked. Apparently, it had a soothing effect on Mashburn, calmed him down a bit.
Well, Mashburn had said that it was his intention to get the attention of Quinn Buckner. Of course, Quinn may have different views on that. It was not to put Quinn's head on a chopping block. People were comparing it to the Magic Johnson situation back in 1981 when Paul Westhead was fired as the Lakers coach. It eventually led to Pat Riley taking over with the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's pretty rare when you see player revolts ending up with the coach winning, that's for sure, in the history of professional sports at any rate.
This is a little different situation because he has a lucrative 5-year contract. Of course, no matter who would be coaching this team, there would be huge problems. Popeye Jones called for his 3rd foul. 5.5 remaining in this first half. The Knicks 33 and the Mavericks 26. Knicks led by as many as 14. They have not been able to pull away, though.
The interesting thing to watch is how Harper guards the Knicks guards, and how much can they advance the ball. That's the challenge of the defense on the point guard. Where does he stop the dribbler? And that's the fun in watching this guy work. And the challenge for the Knicks point guards, it's been a little bit of Greg Anthony, and Hubert Davis has been handling the ball. Now we see John Starks doing some point guard play, and Harper is an interesting guy because he's so competitive, and he makes that ball pretty much stop out high above the circle.
Rooks called for the foul, his 2nd, sending Ewing to the foul line.
Pat Riley made a statement, which was in today's papers and over the weekend, about let's get the focus away from point guards and shooting guards, 1s and 2s. You know, let's just refer to them as guards. Can they play? And he hasn't enjoyed the pressure and the focus of the Knick point guard situation, particularly now having the setback of Doc Rivers incurring that injury that's going to knock him out for the year. And Pat wants to take the focus off this man by doing that naturally. And
he's trying to deflect the pressure from Greg Anthony, who obviously has been affected by it. But there is a division of duties. You know, no matter what Pat is saying, there's a point guard and there's a shooting guard.
Pat also criticizing people focusing on Greg's shooting, you know, blaming the media in some ways for focusing so much on Greg's shooting.
As I said, Pat trying to deflect very, very strongly. Here's Smith. So the Knicks now lead 34-28. Ewing for Starks.
It's one of the nicer passes ever from Patrick.
Harper is fouled.
That was a beautiful pass from Ewing.
Rolando Blackman called for the personal. And Derek Harper will go to the line. Derek Harper in his 11th season out of Illinois. He is the Mavericks team captain, succeeding Rolando Blackman, 1st round pick back in '84. He's averaged just under 15 per game. And he's number 6 among active players in total steals, better than 1,400.
He enjoyed an interesting statistic in that his scoring average got better over the first 8 seasons. Every year it got a little better.
And you know, John, the trade speculation for Harper, nothing new. He has been the focus of many rumors past 3 or 4 years. Came very close to heading to Charlotte last season, part of a 3-team deal on the night of the trading deadline. Then it fell through. Blackman. Ewing with the stuff. Patrick Ewing with the impressive one-hand stuff. Rooks spinning his way. Nice move.
Well, that was a breathtaking stuff. Particularly impressive in that Patrick normally doesn't succeed with one hand as he did on that play. Ooh.
Meanwhile, the Mavericks hanging around. 36-32. The Knicks lead is only 4. 3:35 remaining in the first half. Harper turned it over. Here's Blackman for 3. Yes. Rolando Blackman with his first field goal, and that one had to feel very good as he hits from downtown to give the Knicks a 39-32 lead.
Rolando is playing some tough defense. He's on Mashburn now, and he battled Jimmy Jackson quite well. You see Rolando playing in front of Mashburn. Foul called on him, but he's a very aggressive defender and hasn't had a chance to show his abilities as a defender this season. He's not the player this year that he was last year. He's in much better condition, feeling better. Basic defensive, fighting for position, denying the basketball on that play, and I know he's enjoying his play on the court now.
Foul on Blackman is third. The Knicks bench finally able to produce a field goal on that three-pointer by Blackman. They had missed the first 9 shots. The bench is 1 of 10. The Knicks 39 and the Mavericks 34. Anthony and Blackman and Starks in a 3-guard alignment. Ewing gambling with that flip. Very fortunate to get it back. Yes, and it counts. So Ewing will go to the line when we come back. 2:50 to go, first half.
This year, fine, good.
Well, Patrick Ewing to the line looking for a 3-point play. He was fouled by Doug Smith. 2:50 remaining in this first half. The Knicks 41, Dallas 34. Ewing has 11. Oakley is the high man with 13. So the Knicks lead is now 8. Dallas had 1 and 21. They have lost 18 in a row. The club record is 19 straight. That was set last season. Oh, nice move by Mashburn. The NBA record, most consecutive losses, the 72-73 Philadelphia 76ers lost 20 in a row. If you carry over 2 seasons, the record is 24 straight by the Cavaliers back in 81 and 82. Smith with Riley and Mashburn up front. Here's Mashburn going all the way, rejected by Ewing.
Mashburn's last drive being hounded by Rolando Blackman. Well, he just powered his way in. What his skills are best expressed by coaches who will say he can create his own move, and that's what he did on that play.
And Mashburn hits the 3. So Jamal Mashburn coming on after the slow start. He now has 10 points. 3-point Knick lead. Starks to 3. Yes. So John Starks hits the 3, and the Knicks lead 45-39. Rondo Blackman getting much playing time here in the first half against his former team. Smith stripped, able to recover. Shot clock at 3. Hopper with the duck away move. Blackman gets it down to Starks. We come up on a minute remaining in this first half, and Dreiling is called for the push. The Mavericks are over the limit, so Oakley to the line.
It's been an excellent first half for Charles Oakley, making a big statement tonight after his game in Chicago the other night that was somewhat quiet, as were the rest of his teammates in output.
So the Knicks now lead 46-39. Look back at the all-time worst records in the history of the league. Those Sixers of 72-73, 9 and 73. If Dallas continues on its current pace, they'd go 4 and 78.
That would make Quinn famous.
Oh yes.
Take some pressure off Roy Rubin's 9 and 73 76er team. I hope he's not listening. I know he hates to be mentioned in that regard, but we needed a line.
Well, that was a team in which Kevin Lovery eventually took over the reins from Roy Rubin, his first coaching job. 46-39, Knicks with the lead. 40 seconds to go in the half. Shot clock at 6. Ewing tried the drop step, thought he was fouled. Back comes Hopper. Starks pokes it away. Another Dallas turnover. Fast break for the Knicks. Starks for Oakley. Oh! A gorgeous play set up by John Starks.
That's got to be the play of the first half. That and Ewing's impressive one-handed slam dunk.
Oakley has 16 points. Final seconds of the half. Harper for 3. And that would not have counted. So at the half, it's the Knicks 48 and the Mavericks 39. When Buckner's Dallas Mavericks trailing by 9, down by as many as 14. Coming up in a moment, the MSG Sports Desk. And there will be a brief ceremony at the end of the halftime intermission featuring Walt Clyde Frazier in a presentation to Patrick Ewing, who last week broke Clyde's record, becoming the Knicks' #1 all-time scorer.
With 2 minutes to go in the first half, it was a 3-point game. The Knicks end the first half with a 6-0 flurry, and they now have a 9-point lead over the Dallas Mavericks, who have lost 18 games in a row. But clearly this is not going the way the Knicks would like it. They seem a little disjointed on offense, and off the bench they've gotten only 1 hoop from 5 contributors, that from Orlando Blackman. That is it off the bench. We'll be back to show you the highlights and tell you who scored how many, but first let's go one floor below here at the Garden to Bob Page for this update at the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Al. Just a couple hours south tonight, 2 once proud championship franchises now falling on hard times. They're playing one another at the Spectrum. As you see, the Sixers walloping the Detroit Pistons by 15 at halftime. In news from around the league, Utah's Karl Malone today named Player of the Week. He averaged 26 points and 11.5 rebounds last week as the Jazz went 4-0. Rod Thorne today suspended Dennis Rodman and Chicago's Stacey King, 1 game each for their roles in an altercation Saturday. You can see that Rodman starts it with a headbutt, so he was also fined $7,500 today, while King was levied only $2,500. Both players were ejected from the game. And the Portland Trail Blazers said today that Clyde Drexler will be lost to them for 2 to 3 weeks due to a severely sprained left ankle. He suffered at the end of this fast break from last night's win over Milwaukee. The All-Star guard, not 31, missed 33 games last year with assorted injuries. And in case you missed it from earlier, Bobby Hurley, I'm happy to say, upgraded to fair condition and removed from intensive care as his remarkable recovery from that near-fatal automobile accident continues out in Sacramento. I'll have more right after this.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
It stretches from Boston. They're able to do that because of the boisterous nature of their fans. So it's going to be important for us to try to take them out early in the game. The more the fans get into the game, the more difficult it is for us. We were down there in '88, close game. Noise was a real factor in the game, so we have to, as much as possible, try to eliminate that.
Yankees have signed their former left fielder, Luis Polonia, to a 2-year free agent contract. More at 11 tonight from the Sports Desk. Back to courtside after this.
Knicks had a 9-point advantage over the Dallas Mavericks. Now the scoring summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. For the leading Knicks, Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley leading the way. Oakley 16 and 5 rebounds, Ewing 12 and 4 rebounds. No scoring off the bench except for a 3-pointer from Orlando Blackman. For the Dallas Mavericks, relatively quiet 10 points for Jamal Mashburn, 3 of 7 from the floor, as Popeye Jones joins him with 10 points as well. And Walt Clyde Frazier joins me here at courtside. Clyde, this can't be what the Knicks wanted to see in that first half.
No, this is the worst team in the league against scoring. The Knicks capitalized the first quarter, Oakley the catalyst. Second quarter, nothing from the bench, and they're struggling right now.
Now the Knicks are trying to find their identity again in the absence of Doc Rivers. We'll give you a taste of the first half. The highlights are brought to you by Minolta, makers of the new Maxim 700 SI, only from the mind of Minolta. Nick defense good in sporadic stretches.
Symbolized their defense in the first quarter, displaying good hands, coming up with steals. Some nice dishing and switching here. Oakley, the recipient of the pass from Starks.
In the first half, we saw one of Patrick's more spectacular dunks of the season.
Yeah, watch Blackman duping right here. Ewing getting inside position because the help was there. So extraordinary stuff by Ewing.
And the kid from Cardinal Hayes coming back to the Garden and to his hometown, Jamal Mashburn.
He has amazing grace for a man 6'8", 240. This time with the height advantage over Blackman.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how the Knicks come out of the locker room for the start of the third quarter. When we come back, a moment for Walt Claude Frazier to share with Patrick Ewing here at the Garden. Stay with us.
This year, find your gift at the place.
The prestigious
PM Daily.
I can buy presents for the whole family in one afternoon. I bought sneakers, CDs, and cool t-shirts, and posters for my friends at Tri-County.
I usually don't like shopping, but Tri-County makes it so easy.
I like the hustle, the bustle, and the great deal.
Where else can I shop for 11 grandchildren and get clothes that they like that I can afford?
Count on selection, count on value, and count on savings at Tri-County Flea Market and Jewelry Exchange for extra happy holidays.
Discover card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By MetLife. Get Met, it pays. And by Gillette Sensor and the new Gillette series. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Halftime on this Monday night, Knicks by 9. A special moment now for Patrick Ewing. Here's Mike Walshevsky.
It was made last Thursday night when Patrick Ewing became the all-time leading scorer in the club's 48-year history. We direct your attention now to center court, where Patrick will be given a special Tiffany's trophy commemorating his achievement, and it'll be presented by the man whose point total he eclipsed, Hall of Famer Walt Frazier. Joining Walt in the presentation are Knicks President Dave Checketts and Vice President and General Manager Ernie Grunfeld. Congratulations once again to the Knicks all-time scoring leader, Patrick Ewing.
Well, Patrick Ewing receiving a memento for something he earned on Thursday night here at the Garden. He is now the greatest of all the scorers to ever wear the uniform of the New York Knicks. Getting set for the second half, here are Marv Albert and John Andres. Marv.
All right, Al, look at the stats in the first half with the Knicks up 48-39. The Knicks shooting 50% on 19 out of 38. While Dallas at 13 for 34, 38% from the field. Slight edge off the boards for the Knicks. In the assist column, a 16-6 margin. And Dallas with 13 turnovers in that first half. The Knicks with 9.
Our Toyota matchup featuring the centers for the respective teams. Patrick Ewing going up against a much younger player, Sean Rooks. Patrick dominating in the point department. Rooks doing a nice job on the boards, though. Rooks played 15 minutes. Patrick Ewing 18 minutes of the first half.
John, the stat that stands out in the first half, John Starks with 8 assists. 3 of 7 from the field, 7 points, and 8 of the 16 Knicks assists. Well, Pat Riley is saying doesn't matter. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? Well, John Starks from the shooting guard position did accumulate 8 assists. The high point men, Charles Oakley with 16 on 7 of 10 shooting, and Patrick Ewing with 12 points. The Dallas 10 apiece for Jamal Mashburn and Popeye Jones.
Well, all John Starks had to do, it appeared, was just hand the ball over to Oakley, and he was hitting so much that those 8 assists came rather easily.
And Derek Harper opens up the third quarter with his third field goal. 8 points for Harper. The Knicks lead is now 7. They've led by as many as 14. They have led all the way. Tony Campbell, Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing on the front line, Greg Anthony and John Starks in the backcourt. Illegal defense called on the Mavericks for the first time.
Greg Anthony played more minutes as we look at the cheerleader for the Mavs, their coach, Quinn Buckner. Greg played 19 minutes to lead the Knicks, 2 for 2 from the field, 2 assists, 6 points.
Oakley gets down low. I should say Campbell getting down low. He now has 6 points. And the Knicks lead by 9. Opening minute, third quarter. Jim Jackson in the backcourt with Garrett Harper, Popeye Jones, Sean Rooks, and Jamal Mashburn up front. Offensive foul. And that is number 4 on Jones.
Well, Popeye Jones set a mean pick here. Greg Anthony fights over the top of that pick, or I should say he abided by the philosophy to fight over the pick and got rocked, and you could see Popeye lean in as Popeye was, even in the cartoons.
Yes, but Popeye now sitting down after picking up his 4th, replaced by Doug Smith. Doug Smith, a first-round draft pick back in '91. He was the 6th selection overall. It's been a major disappointment.
But I'll tell you something more.
Yes.
Of all the Dallas Mavs players, as Ewing executes a beautiful hook over Rooks, they feel that he is having the best year as far as an individual making progress.
Well, that's a real reach.
Huh?
Yes, it is. He's averaging 7 points a game coming off the bench. Jackson shooting. Jim Jackson cuts it back to a 9-point. Nick lead with 1.5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier from the Garden. Ewing getting position. Yes. Knicks lead 54-43.
Rooks is 6'10", so Ewing at 7 feet just has that little extra he can shoot over him.
Lead pass intended for Smith. Well, tomorrow night the Knicks will face the New Jersey Nets over at the Meadowlands. First of 5 meetings between the Knicks and the Nets. Thursday back home for the Atlanta Hawks. So another major test for the Knicks against the 16-5 Hawks. Anthony given the room. Well, Greg Anthony has hit 2 jump shots. Knicks lead 56-43. Dallas takes a timeout. 13-point Knick lead, 9:35 remaining. Third quarter.
Now stretching it out a bit. Tony Campbell giving the ball up, not forcing it. Did Patrick Ewing come into the picture? It looks like the ball's going to Campbell, but no, it goes right into Ewing from Charles Oakley. And that 2 extra inches in height helped Patrick succeed on that jump shot. Greg Anthony now starting to feel a little bit of confidence, talking a little more on the court.
Well, Anthony has hit 3 out of 3, 8 points in all. Knicks by 13. They double up on Mashburn. Harper got the step. Nice move, went to the reverse. And the Knicks turn it over. Once again on the inbounds, a violation, and it goes back to Dallas. Rooks took the contact. Foul on Ewing. Rooks to the line. For Ewing, it is his first. So Sean Rooks to the free throw line. He's 2 of 2 from the foul line. When the Knicks met the Mavericks in Dallas on the 16th of November, the starting center was Darren Morningstar, who has not seen any playing time at all tonight.
In the Mavericks press guide, one of the personal points about Sean Rooks is the only autographs he's ever asked for were Charles Barkley's, Bernard King's. Obviously, Sean has his priorities in order.
John, a correction. Darren Morningstar played at the end of the second. Played 1 minute in the first half. Thank you. My apologies.
Accepted.
Yes. Starks. Here's Starks on the drive. Rebound Campbell. The Knicks lead 58-45. 8 points for Campbell. Comes off a season-high 14 on Friday in Chicago. Smith sets the pick. Here is Doug Smith. Knicks by 11. Starks putting a move on Mashburn, who held him. John, you look at this Dallas Mavericks squad. You look at the starting lineup. Just some thought to ponder. Take the 3 top players for the Mavericks. Jamal Mashburn, rookie out of Kentucky. Derek Harper, the veteran from Illinois. And a foul is called. Apparently they turned it over. And Jim Jackson, the rookie, the second-year player from Ohio State, although he played a limited schedule last season.
Oh, what a great move by Rooks.
I would venture to say that all 3 would start with the Knicks. Maybe Jackson would be battling with Starks. But how about Mashburn and certainly Harper with Doc Rivers out of action? I don't know what the point proves, but
well,
do you agree?
Very possibly. You don't know if the Charles Smith situation is still a big question mark. But Mashburn very conceivably could be the starting small forward. Certainly, he's got range and
steal by Harper from Anthony.
Loads of talent.
Jackson.
Certainly Harper, I don't think there's an argument on that one now, particularly now with Doc Rivers out.
Well, I think Mashburn would eventually be the starter. Here's the steal by Harper, and Jim Jackson would certainly contend. If this is all in dream world we're talking here, but it may tell us also a little bit about the coaching abilities of Pat Riley as you look at this Knick roster. Anthony got the step and is fouled by Rooks.
You're suggesting Pat is doing a lot, obviously, with the talent he has.
An overachieving ball club. Rooks called for his 3rd.
Well, Greg with more confidence now, taking the ball to the basket and drawing the foul successfully on that drive.
Greg Anthony is 2 of 2 from the line.
You know, anything that the Mavericks would say in defense of their team would be snickered at in view of their record, which coming in tonight are 1-21. But they meaning the coaching staff and the management, feel that they are a much better club than last year, and they judge it by how they're handling games. They said last year, and talking before the game to some of them, last year they were out of games in the first quarter.
A beautiful steal by Starks.
This year, that's not the case.
When you have the record of the Dallas Mavericks at 1-21, you look for small victories. As you point out, they're not being blown out early. Rooks called for the foul, his 4th. Last year, Dallas with the worst record in the league, 11-71. They won their final 2 games of the season to avoid tying the 72-73 Philadelphia 76ers for the worst record in the history of the NBA. Rooks will sit down after picking up his 4th, and Greg Dreiling returns.
Last year, Dallas averaged, their opponents averaged 115 points a game. This year, they're at 105.
Well, Greg Anthony with his 4th field goal. He's 4 of 4. 3 have been outside jump shots. The Knicks lead 62-49. Jackson posting up. Jackson on the follow. 8 points for Jackson. The Knicks 62, the Mavericks 51. .620 left in the 3rd quarter.
One of the moves that Mashburn has impressed people so much with this year is a Hardaway crossover dribble move. Tim Hardaway has a move that has turned heads since he's been in the NBA. It's an unstoppable move. Well, Mashburn also has that move, but he hasn't really uncorked it here against the Knicks tonight. Anthony pushing the ball up to Campbell. Knicks sharing the ball nicely as John Starks goes in and draws a two-shot foul.
Foul committed by Doug Smith. That is his third. And John Starks on the line for the first time tonight. 8 points along with 10 assists for Starks. John Starks' career high in the assist category, 14 against the Lakers last season. That's the game that saw John start at the point guard position and play all 48 minutes at the Forum in Los Angeles. Knicks lead 63-51. 5:40 remaining in the third. That's a three-point attempt by Harper. Oakley picked off by Harper. Weak pass thrown by Oakley. Harper switching hands on the dribble, getting it off to Smith. So Doug Smith cuts it to a 10-point Knick lead.
Oakley felt he was fouled. He did a lot of complaining.
Nice pass again from Ewing, and Smith called for the pushing foul. So Oakley will go to the line. That's 4 on Doug Smith.
Talk about coaching, Marv. It's every player on this floor has been coached since high school, you know, and not letting a man cut down the middle in front of him. What is it that a coach says that gets some players, even at this level, to adhere to that basic fundamental of not letting a man cut in front of you to the basket? It's just fascinating to see the difference in coaching ability and getting players to respond to the fundamentals that they know and have known for 10 years. The Dallas Mavs are allowing the Knicks a lot of room to receive passes around the basket instead of stepping in front of them and denying position.
Knicks with a 65-53 lead. Light pressure shown by the Knicks. Starks faking going for that pass, and it threw Harper off.
And Smith also made a fundamental error.
Yes, and it counts. Starks with the head fake. He suckered Dreiling in, and Dreiling collects his 4.
So I was saying Smith made an error that Pat Riley was harping on to his team about last week. He went up in the air to deliver the pass, and then when he looked, it was going in the wrong direction. It's underway with the semifinal doubleheader on December 27th, followed by the championship doubleheader on December 29th. Tickets are on sale now at the Garden box office and all Ticketmaster locations. And to charge, call 212-307-7171.
John Starks looking to complete a three-point play. 5:03 left in the third. The Knicks lead 67-53. Mashburn for Harper. Lucius Harris, rookie from Long Beach State, is back on the floor. Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. Ewing, Campbell, Oakley up front. Pat Riley going with his starting lineup. Ewing putting the move on Dreiling and draws the foul. That's number 5 on Greg Dreiling.
How many times do you think Greg Dreiling has seen that move by Ewing? He's still going for the fake. Gets boring after a while, you know.
Pat Lever back on the floor, and we will see Darren Morningstar in just a moment. Pat Lever back from chronic knee problems, missed all of last season, played only 35 games the 2 previous years. And here is Darren Morningstar, rookie from University of Pittsburgh, replacing Greg Dreiling. Morningstar signed as a free agent, originally a second-round pick of the Celtics last season, and a final cut in training camp by Boston. and then went on to play in the CBA. Here's pressure by the Knicks. They double up on Lever. And the Mavericks finally able to get it across. Morningstar flipping it back out. Shot clock at 3. And it's a 24-second violation.
Well, that's the defense that Pat Riley takes pride in when the Knicks are clicking. The best dramatic demonstration you can make is of team defense, and that is holding a team to the point where they can't get a shot off in 24 seconds.
Campbell on the recovery. Tony Campbell playing well. He now has 10 points. Knicks by 18. Another Dallas turnover. Oakley pegs it down. There's Anthony on the move, popping it out to Starks.
That was Anthony on the steal with his alert hands.
Ewing goes to a fadeaway. And kept alive by Anthony. Knicks in the midst of a 13-4 run. And the tip by Starks, so the Knicks now lead by 20. That is a most unusual stat. More turnovers than field goals made by Dallas. Jackson picks up the foul.
What an outstanding effort by Charles Oakley. He threw himself into that steal and was able to keep his balance. Watch Charles come into the play now, just right into it. You think he might fall down, but he surprises by keeping his balance, something normally that he does not do. Terrific play by Charles.
And he will go to the foul line. So the Knicks have opened up their biggest lead of the night, a margin of 20. With 2:59 remaining in the third quarter. Oakley 4 of 6 from the line. He has 19 points.
Well, one of the interesting points about the Mavericks' problems this year, again talking to some of the management of the team before the game, is that they are not used to runs of teams. When they were in college, your team had a big run, blew the game open, the game was over. In the NBA, big runs by the opposition don't necessarily mean it's over. And the psychology of the NBA is such that the game is never over. I mean, there's so much talent in this sport that if a team has a 10-0 run, doesn't mean you're out of it. And the coaching staff and management of the team have to work on the heads of the Jimmy Jacksons and Mashburns to the point where, hey, if you get down, or if the other teams are more, are deeper, which most teams are, than the Mavericks, don't check out on us. Stay with it, because you guys can come back too.
It's one of the finest points you've ever made. That is an intricate, interesting point.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't mean to be patronizing, John.
Oh, I know you don't.
I never thought of that. All right, here's Tim Legler, who just checked in, and wasting no time. Legler has been bothered by a sprained left ankle. He is a very fine shooter. They double up on Ewing, and Legler came up with a steal. Legler in his 4th year out of LaSalle. Mashburn. Morningstar stopped by Campbell. Anthony comes up with it. Mismatch with Lever guarding Oakley. And Dick Pavetta blowing the whistle. Pushing foul on Morningstar.
I was talking about Mashburn's crossover dribble before, Marv. Here's a look at Mashburn coming at the defense. See how he waved to the right and then deceptively went left for the nice pass off. Very tough move by a big fellow.
Ewing to the line. He's 4 of 6 from the free throw line.
Jamal listed at 6'8", 240. Fine ball handler.
And now Rolando Blackman. The replaces Tony Campbell. He sits down with 10 points. Rolando with 8 minutes in the first half hit 1 of 4 from 3-point range. All 5 Knicks starters in double figures. Ewing has 20. Oakley has 20. Knicks 76. The Mavericks 56. With just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. And Lever hit on the reach-in by Anthony.
It's nice to see Fat Lever back. Always a class player. One of the great triple-double threats in NBA recent years. He's a fine rebounder as well as scorer and passer. But the read on him, Marv, is that he is healthy, but I think it may be his last go-around with the Mavericks. He earns a lot of money, in excess of $2 million a year. And
well, the foul has been called on Morningstar, and we're set to check in with Bob Page at the sports desk.
Marv, at the Spectrum tonight, watch the Sixers' Jeff Hornacek skirt around the outside of the Pistons defense, and a great pass to Sean Bradley for a shot that not even he can miss. Philly running away with it against Detroit now, fourth quarter.
All right, Bob, and back here at Madison Square Garden, Greg Anthony at the free throw line, giving the Knicks a 21-point lead as he hit on his first. 1:38 remaining in this third quarter, when Buckner, in the process of emptying his bench, getting set to send on Donald Hodge, who has not played tonight. Legler guarded by Blackman. Shot clock at 5. And a holding foul assessed on Oakley. Knicks are now over the foul limit. So Mashburn will go to the line. Well, Mashburn only 3 of 10 from the field and 2 of 4 at the line.
The last time the Knicks and Dallas met in mid-November, Mavericks, when you look back in their prior 2 games, had won 1 of 2. And that one was against Minnesota, at Minnesota. That's the only game the Mavs have won this year, and they won it by 115-99. Anyway, at the end of that game, Quinn Buckner threw a lot of praise Mashburn's way, and pointing out how he has a great ability to recognize situations where he has the advantage of quickness and muscle. And adds so much to his effectiveness as Rolando shows that he's got it.
Donald Hodge now checking in. Bad pass by the Mavericks, so they turn it over once again. Turnover number 22. Mashburn sitting down as Hodge checks in. 1:03 to go in this third quarter. Greg Anthony with a season high of 14 points. And that is called a 2-shot foul off the inbounds. Morningstar picks it up.
Patrick Ewing running into a lot of physical play as he tries to take command of his area, the paint area, under the Knicks basket. Big game for Greg Anthony and the Knicks, quite frankly. It's probably the most meaningful result of this game, that Greg Anthony has reason to feel confidence and that he can be effective and helpful. I mean, he's not playing against bums in the backcourt tonight, that's for sure, with Harper and Jimmy Jackson. Is some quality in Fat Lever, so he can hold his head up high.
The Knicks 82, the Mavericks 58. Nice pass. Lucius Harris with his second field goal. Harris, a second-round pick. He was the first pick of the second round. A lot of NBA people thought he'd go late first round. Good pickup by Dallas. That counts. And the foul. So Greg Anthony continues his strong play. 16 points And he'll go to the line. Morningstar with the foul, his 4th.
Greg didn't rush the move. He kept looking for open people. All of a sudden, the whole left side of the basket opened up. And he took Fat Lever along for a ride. Nicely done.
Anthony 5 for 5 from the floor, 6 of 6 from the line.
You did it again, Bob.
This has to be Greg Anthony's finest shooting performance in the NBA. Legler. Oakley with the rebound. And the pass thrown behind Anthony. 27 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Lucius Harris setting it against Hubert Davis. Got to go behind the back and lost it. Anthony checking the clock. Anthony squeezing through and draws the foul with 8 seconds to go.
What an attitude change. Recent times until tonight, really, Greg would have looked for someone to pass the ball to. In this case, he looked to do it himself. There was no one in front of him, so why not? A demonstration of self-confidence by Greg on that play.
"17 points for Anthony. This is the strongest possible message by Greg Anthony with all the trade speculation swirling going into tonight, revolving around Derek Harper, the man he matched up against for a good part of the evening, but it's been all Greg Anthony. Final seconds of the 3rd. Lever. Well, we're headed in the direction of extensive garbage time. After 3 at the Garden, the Knicks by 26 points.
We're gonna have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only one left.
In the 3rd quarter, they outscored Dallas 38-21, and 38 points represents the high for a quarter for the Knicks this season. Previous high 35 against Miami. One other stat I'd like to throw at you, John. Dallas committing 24 turnovers, equaling already the most by a Knick opponent this season. Crack statistician, the Merle himself, Eric Merlis, providing the artillery, of course. Incidentally, as we have done from time to time, we will be switching to the Dallas broadcast handled by Don Crickey and Brad Davis to get a sampling of what is going on elsewhere around the league. We did this very successfully with the as Blackman was able to fire it home. And the Knicks now lead 88-62. We got a sampling of the Denver Nuggets one-man show by Al Albert, who was ostensibly working with Walter Davis. Let's see if Don lets Brad Davis in this instance. Look out. Lever and Oakley get involved. And Charles nearly put Fat Lever into row 3, but argues about the call. There it is. A little tripping violation on Oakley.
Let's put it this way. Lever was in his way.
Yes. Lucius Harris with the hesitation dribble did well to avoid the block by Ewing. The Knicks 88 and the Mavericks 64. Opening minute, 4th quarter. Ewing putting the spin on Morningstar, gets it out to Davis. Yes. 3-pointer for Hubert Davis. The Knicks lead 91-64. Davis trying to draw the foul. Donald Hodge with the fake, and that will count as a goaltender.
Hodge was way up there, and Ewing gets the ball in the interpretation of the officials on the way down, which makes it a goaltend.
The pressure being shown here by the Mavericks. Donald Hodge in his third NBA season out of Temple has the height of a center and the weight of a small forward, and plays like a small forward despite the fact that he goes about 7 feet. Ewing stepped out. Herb Williams will come on, along with Anthony Bonner replacing Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing. Ewing with 22 points. Oakley 20 points and 10 rebounds.
So Charles with a double-double, an area that he excelled in the early games of the season. Now he's back to double figures in points and rebounds.
Anthony off the steal was held by Lever. John Starks checks back in. Here comes Sean Rooks, who has been in foul trouble. Rooks, the Morning Star, and a hand for Greg Anthony. And that has to feel very good. Greg Anthony with a superb game. Season high 18, 5 of 5 from the field, 8 of 9 from the line.
Marv, I think that this is a clear demonstration of why the New York fans are so terrific. They react to what they see, and Greg played well, and it was really recognized by the fans here tonight and expressed by them.
Greg coming off bout with the flu, missed 2 games before drawing the start in Chicago on Friday. That's an offensive foul. Offensive foul on Lucius Harris. Out Derek Harper, Jamal Mashburn, Jim Jackson all check in. Harris called for that foul. So the Knicks with a combination of Starks, Blackman, Davis, Bonner, and Williams. Herb Williams getting down low on Sean Rooks. And Williams recovers, grabbing it out of the hands of Rooks, and hears it from the crowd as the foul is called. It's on Mashburn.
Herb Williams drawing the foul as he takes that ball to the basket nicely. One of the interesting byproducts of Pat Riley using his team as comfortably as he has tonight is that Anthony Mason hasn't gotten a lot of time. 8 minutes of the first half. We've seen less of Anthony Mason, I believe, than we have all season. Rolando Blackman, however, has been getting more playing time tonight and has looked good. He's had some very impressive offensive moves and works as hard as usual on defense.
Rooks with the jump shot over Williams. Blackman, nice setup. Bonner with the tip. Williams on the follow. Last touch by the Mavericks. Knicks able to keep it alive, and they'll have a new 24 to work with. Here's Hubert Davis. Anthony Bonner. Pretty move by Bonner. That's his first field goal.
That's the game of Anthony Bonner, a man who doesn't need the ball to contribute. He just goes out and gets points on his own.
And that is a 3 for Mashburn. For Jamal Mashburn, his third from downtown.
Boy, does he make that 3 look easy.
15 points for the product of Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx. Herb Williams. Herb has had the good shot opportunities, but 0 for 5 from the field. Harper shooting. The Knicks now lead 93-71. Pass had a bit too much on it, could not be handled by Blackman.
That's the kind of play that John Starks isn't used to making out front, handling the ball, initiating the play as the ball handler. So the delivery of a pass like that is somewhat strange to him.
Right here is Mashburn. And Rooks is fouled. We're down to 7:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Knicks with a 93-71 lead on the Dallas Mavericks. Coming up Thursday night, the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks here at Madison Square Garden. Well, another major test for the Knicks against a quality ball club. Atlanta Hawks off to the surprising start, record of 16-5. Hawks have won 10 of 11 at home at the Omni,
where they continue to play before less than packed houses. That's an amazing thing going on down there. And the fans there can't even believe the change in the team. The same faces as last year. They can't accept that this is a good team now with Lenny Wilkins changing the whole face of the Atlanta Hawks with their defensive stress.
Yes, to this point they have not bought the credibility of the Hawks. Rooks. Kept alive by the Mavericks. Harper. The Knicks 93. Mavericks 74. Harper with the steal. Harper on the change of direction. It counts. And the foul. What a play by Derek Harper. Timeout taken. 6:34 remaining in the fourth.
It's the most magical time of the year, the holiday season, and your Jeep and Eagle dealers are working some magic of their own with an incredible zero-down holiday sale. Make no down payment and still save up to $1,500 on Jeep Grand Cherokee V8. Get big savings on Eagle Vision and $500 cash back on Eagle Talent. So hurry in and enjoy that magical feeling only the holiday season can bring.
Plus, right now, make no payments until April. See your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
The success of any organization of human beings really depends upon how well they can work together. So we try to hire good attitudes. I think the easiest way to lose success is to become convinced that you are successful. I think American Express has a distinctive market. I've really been very appreciative of not just the card itself, but the service behind the card.
American Express is welcomed on airlines all around the world. Herb is kind of partial to his corner of the world.
Did you reserve the car with Hertz?
Not exactly, but it's a good deal.
Are they as fast as Hertz?
Not exactly, but what's the rush? We're on vacation!
Dad, are we lost? Hertz gives you computerized directions.
Honey, this is not exactly Hertz, okay?
I hope they have the same emergency road service as Hertz.
Not exactly.
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's Not Exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
Are you sure this is the way to the hotel?
Not exactly.
Did you hear that?
Well, the Delta Airlines upcoming Knicks schedule shows the New Jersey Nets come into the Knicks' life for the first time this year in 2 out of their next 3 games. Tomorrow night, the Knicks at Jersey. Thursday, the Atlanta Hawks are here, and then next Tuesday here at the Garden, the Jersey Nets come back. Derek Harper on a beautiful crossover dribble. Crazy shot off the backboard. He loved it. That was after stealing the inbounds pass. Another look at it again. That's tough spin, boy, to make a shot like that. He just sailed into another steal. His 3rd inbounds pass that he has stolen tonight made that look very easy as Herb Williams got a little sloppy with the ball.
Well, Dallas has scored the last 10 points. A 10-0 run. Knicks now lead 93-76. Just under 6.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. And Herb Williams with a jump hook. He cannot buy one. Herb is now 0 for 6 from the field. As we mentioned earlier, from time to time, we check out other broadcasts around the NBA. So let us join with KTVT Channel 11 in Dallas and pick up the play-by-play. Don Criqui and former Maverick Brad Davis.
With a great strength from the outside position with Mashburn, but he had to force a shot just before the shot clock expired.
That's where he's going to get better, too, though. He's the guy along with Jimmy Jackson, with the shot clock running down, just like Michael Jordan used to be able to get something off his own dribble. Mashburn can do that. Jimmy Jackson can do that.
5:45 to play in the game. Knicks with the ball in a 93-76 lead. Hubert Davis, too much on it, but Herb Williams is there to take it down. Starks fires. He's not close. And here comes Jimmy Jackson for the Mavericks. Freeing up Harper. New York again with good defense to shut off the three-point drive. Sean Rooks backs in, and he'll go to the line, fouled by Anthony Bonner.
Good little pick and roll that time by the Mavericks. Sean Rooks went over, set the pick. Defensive man jumped high. All Sean did was just slip right to the basket. Harper, little jump pass over the top. Here it is right here. Herb jumps out. Sean, all you do then is slip to the basket. Bonner's a little late getting over there. Good spin move by Sean Rooks. He's going to go to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
Dallas has scored the last 10 points in this game. Looking to make it an 11-0 run now on this free throw by Rooks. Sean Rooks looking to convert the second. He has 9 points. So an 11-0 run by the Mavericks has cut the New York lead to 93-77. Williams spins on Rooks. Great defensive play by Sean Rooks, rejecting and coming up with the ball.
That's what the Mavericks are going to have to do. Get it done on the defensive end. They need some stops.
Man. Great move to the basket by Harper. Look at this Harper play. Inside to Rooks, and he's fouled. Derek Harper putting on a show.
He is. Derek's a bundle of energy out there. Great steal that time. Good spin move. He knocked the thing away. Good spin move. He misses a layup, but he doesn't hang his head. He gets right back after it, knocks it out of Herb's hand. Jamal picks the basketball back up, throws it inside to Sean Rooks. Another chance for 2 free throws right here to cut it to 14.
Can't get the first one to go. Game clock down to 4:47 to play. Sean Rooks with some nice numbers. 10 points, 11 points now, and 10 rebounds. And it's a 15-point Knick lead. Leads go in a hurry in this league.
They sure do, especially when you play it on the defensive end like the Mavericks have done in this 4th quarter.
Rimming the hoop, fighting for the rebound. Williams comes down with it. He gets it back.
That's what's hurt the Mavericks on the second half has been their second shots. New York's relentless on the boards. That's hurt them.
So Herb Williams went 0 for 7 from the field prior to that shot. Finally gets one to go. And a whistle stops play now. There'll be a foul call on New York. And Sean Rooks goes back to the line.
Another little spin move. Sean's becoming more and more effective like he was.
Well, the voices of Don Criqui and Brad Davis on KTVT Channel 11 in Dallas. I'm just wondering, John, I think Don put in an expense report for this game, charging the folks at Channel 11 in Dallas, and that he did make the long trip from the state of New Jersey.
Well, as a longtime NBC employee, Marv, knowing the pro that Don is, I would say he did, yes.
4 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Knicks lead the Mavericks 95-79. Knicks gunning for their 6th straight win over Dallas. Hubert Davis, that was within 2-point range. 5 points for Davis. And the Knicks lead at 97-79. Knicks on their way to making it a record of 16-5. 6 of their last 7, while Dallas will drop to 1-22. 19 straight wins. Another Dallas turnover.
Alert play by Hubert Davis helping out from the weak side.
Anthony Bonner able to finish it off 99-79. The Knicks by 20. And the Mavericks with 28 turnovers. Hoffer changed his mind.
I like the way Blackman's been moving tonight. He really looks like himself.
Timeout call by the Knicks with 2:54 remaining in the 4th.
Is this space taken?
No.
Then I'll sit down.
You want a Bud Light?
Not yet.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
How about a little help here? That was just a warm-up.
The tradition continues. Tri-County Flea Market presents a unique holiday shopping experience that gives you more value for less money, with over 1 million gifts and services to choose from and great presents for the entire family. And Tri-County makes sure...
Stuffer.
This is ABC.
The word at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers is yes. Y-E-S for year-end savings.
County Flea Market and Jewelry Exchange for extra happy holidays.
Four for 11. The Knicks 3 out of 6 from the field. Jamal Mashburn makes the long three-point shot look like a foul shot. His form is so nice and doesn't look like he exerts himself very much to get that three up.
And we are now seeing the New York Knicks debut of Corey Gaines wearing number 7. Recent addition to the squad. Williams banks it home. Corey Gaines out of Loyola Marymount. Signed as a free agent by way of the CBA following the injury suffered by Doc Rivers, who will undergo surgery tomorrow. Knicks 101, Mavericks 79, 2:20 remaining in the game. Foul, tripping foul on Williams.
Corey's wearing a number, Marv, that has not been retired. Number 7. The last Knick to wear that number was Kenny Walker. I know you're interested in things like that.
Kenny, now a member of the Washington Bullets, and had that strong game against the Knicks in Landover earlier this season. Some interesting names when you look back.
Oh, you bet.
Number 7.
Tell me some of them.
How about Ray Lump? Gene Shue, Slater Martin. Remember Larry Friend at the University of California? Whitey Martin. Jack the Shot Foley. Emmett Bryant.
Stan Stutz.
Yes. Dean the Dream Manager. That's a 3-point attempt. Dean the Dream number 7. Gerald Henderson, and then Kenny Walker. We check our handy New York Knicks yearbook. Or media guy.
On behalf of Ray Lump, athletic director of the New York Athletic Club, Marv, thank you. Ray's one of the Knicks' best fans.
Jim Jackson with 10 points. High man for Dallas. Derek Harper with 16. Davis lost it off his foot. Gaines stepped on the midcourt line as he tried to save it. Donald Hodge and Popeye Jones return for the Mavericks with 1:27 left. The high point men for the Knicks: Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley. Ewing with 21, Oakley with 20. Jackson. So the Knicks now lead 101-85. Knicks led by as many as 27. Dallas trimmed that lead down with the 11 unanswered points. On the exchange, knocked away by Legler. Jackson for Harris. The Knicks 101, the Mavericks 87. So the Mavericks will drop to 1-22. 19 straight defeats. And that will tie the longest losing streak in the history of the franchise. A basket counts and a foul. It's a blocking foul on Gaines.
Some move by Jimmy Jackson, head up, checking out the field, and he decides to take it in. He's a strong guy at 6'6". Soft touch, just flipped it up off the backboard. A great body for a guard. Look at that body control as well.
Now, wait a second. Jackson wants another foul shot. He got the 2 points. Players obviously losing the attention span, just hanging around. That was the 3-point play. That's it. And Dick Pavetta says play with a half minute remaining. And the Knicks leading 101-90. Corey Gaines setting it up against Lucius Harris. Crowd would like to see Gaines take the shot. And lost it. Stripped by Jones. Broken up by Davis. It's a 3-on-1. Blackman goes all the way and blew the stop. He expected some resistance. Here's Jackson. Hodge on the rebound. 101-92, but this really a cosmetic final score. This one was out of sight. The Knicks win it 101-92 to make it a 2-game sweep of the Dallas Mavericks. 6 straight wins for the Knicks against Dallas. Quinn Buckner in no hurry to leave the court in a discussion with his coaches. What is he doing to the tie of assistant coach Tom Newell?
He's tucking the underpart into, you know, he's a very fastidious guy. Yes. He's into detail.
Quinn always very fashion conscious. So the Mavericks drop to 1-22, 19 straight defeats. And the Knicks go to 16-5. I don't believe what we just saw.
Okay, classic cars. 63 Vans.
The Sharp View Cam, an absolute original.
So your first goal, Ty, then birthdays, graduations, your wedding, your kids, my grandchildren.
Madison Square Garden television announcers have the David Rickey look.
Basketball at Madison Square Garden. Just send $10 check or money order to Knicks Yearbook, 2 Penn Plaza, 3rd floor, New York, New York, 10121. Attention Debbie. That's Knicks Yearbook, 2 Penn Plaza, 3rd floor, New York, New York, 10121. Attention Debbie.
Well, the New York Knicks beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight, back on the winning track. Mavericks have now lost a team record-tying 19 straight. Knicks got a good performance tonight from Greg Anthony and from John Starks and from Charles Oakley. Here they team up with a play indicative of how things worked when the Knicks needed them to work that way. Charles Oakley finishing it up with 20 points tonight and 11 rebounds. This was one of the bizarre moments of the night. This is after the game was over. Quinn Buckner and Tom Newell talking to his assistant coach, and in the midst of the conversation, he saw fit to adjust the alignment of his tie. It was only one of the strange moments, of which there were many on the Mavericks bench tonight. There are some strange dynamics between Buckner and his players and his assistants and even some of the fans here at the Garden. The Mavericks have now lost 19 straight for the 2nd consecutive season. One more loss, and they would tie the NBA record for most consecutive losses in a season. As for the Knicks, they had a big first-half lead. It fell down to 3. Then they finished up the half leading by 9. And then in the second half, total domination. As Marv said, I believe in Dallas, it was like a scrimmage. Now, the Knicks were led by Patrick Ewing's 21 points, Oakley 20, Greg Anthony 18 points, 5 of 5 from the floor, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Greg Anthony, in the midst of trying to rebuild his confidence, took a major step in that direction tonight for the New York Knicks. John Starks with 12 points. One of the mysteries of the night for the New York Knicks was Anthony Mason, who got 8 first-half minutes and then was not in the mix at all for Pat Riley in the second half. Whether it was just an effort to get some minutes for Rolando Blackman or not, that remains to be seen. Charles Oakley's numbers, I detailed them. He really put forth a powerful effort tonight for the New York Knicks, and he is our Nat West Banks player of the game. 20 points, To detail it, 7 of 11 shooting, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, double digits in rebounds too. It's another double-double for Charles Oakley. Hustled on defense, hustled after loose balls. Here's a look at one of his plays tonight. Oakley open from the baseline, and he hit the outside jumper tonight. Back with much more of our post-game coverage in a moment.
I'm constantly making observations and looking at data. So naturally, when it came time,
here's a look at a glimpse of what he helped create today. Chaos in the middle, team defense, it's a turnover, and it is a successful drive to the hoop. Well, John Starks joins us now at courtside. The number of assists he had in the game was the first question that he asked. Obviously, the pressure on this Knicks team is to get the offense going with Greg Anthony running the show now, and assists a big part of that.
That's true, and, you know, we wanted to come out and just move the basketball to the open man.
John, how concerned is the team to get Greg's head back into things and get his confidence up?
Well, I don't think it's a big concern. I think Greg understands that it's his show now, and he had to come out and perform on night in and night out. I think he did a great job tonight in leading us to this victory.
Do you think, I mean, the reason I bring it up so early is that obviously with Doc out now, he's so critical to the success of this team for the rest of the season. I mean, I thought it was a dramatic, remarkable improvement, one game to the next by Greg.
That's true. Greg been under the flu, and, you know, he bounced back very well tonight. I think he understands what he have to do out there on the court. I think he did a great job of getting us into the offense and, you know, playing great defense.
Now, John, as far as the team goes, you know, Dallas is obviously struggling, so sometimes the pace of the opposing team sets the tempo of the game. But what kind of things did the Knicks take out of this one?
Well, I think you have to be cautious of their big three, Derek Harper, Jimmy Jackson, and Jamal Mashburn. You can't let them three go for big numbers on you. I think we did a great job of pushing up on them and making them earn every shot that they took.
John, for you personally, 5 of 12 from the floor. I mean, it's not 80%, but it certainly is a good sign.
That's true, and you know, I just had to keep shooting the basketball and not worrying about anything out there on the floor.
Derek Harper on the opposing team. I don't know if you guys have been reading the papers or not, but do you look at a guy a little bit differently when the whispers and the rumors have been circulating?
Not really. I think you just have to go out there and play against him. You know, whatever happens, happens. And I think as players, we understand that, you know, you just have to go out there and play your game.
All right, John, thank you very much. A good all-around game for you and a win for the team. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, John Starks of the New York Knicks, of course, who beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight here at the Garden. And for joining us, John will receive an American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks are available where American Express travelers checks are sold. Some of our guests also receive Bulova timepieces. Bulova, make every minute count with timeless elegance and precision design. The Marine Star collection from Bulova. Knicks over the Dallas Mavericks. It's the Nets tomorrow. It's the Hawks back here on Thursday. It's a good start to a busy week. Honor of the Knicks, Maureen McGovern, Robin Leach, who must have turned down the Trump wedding to take on the Knicks and the Mavericks, and Nicole Miller will also be there to talk about wardrobes and other things. Tonight at the Garden, in front of the 38th consecutive sellout, the Knicks beat the Mavericks 101-92. Moments ago, Pat Riley addressed the media, and here is a sampling of what they discussed.
It was, you know, I thought the game was pretty much, you know, set. The tone of the game was set by Charles Oakley. You know, in the first period, he was just all over the place. And, you know, one of the problems we've had in the last week is not making hard plays, not running back defensively, and sort of getting a little bit soft, you know, in that category. And I thought he really set the tone for us defensively. And we got obviously better as the game went along, and you know, did what we had to do to get, you know, to get the win. And but we have a lot of work to do in areas that require the effort and the finishing of plays and the finishing of a defense. And from that standpoint, we have to just keep working on it. But we had some good individual performances tonight. I thought Greg was outstanding, and you know, running the offense, the distribution of the ball, and you know, making shots. So, you know, it's a good game for him too.
Were you prepared at any time to maybe say something in case you saw the guys maybe lose focus because
No,
of
I
the
don't
team?
think so. No. I mean, everybody knows they lost 18 in a row and they're struggling. And they can be dangerous because they play real hard. And when you play against a team that's in that kind of dilemma, you have to keep working the game. You know, you have a tendency to try to hit home runs and get it over with quick. And I thought at times that's what we did. But, you know, we just kept working the game, and it opened up for us. So I don't think there's going to be any complacency in that.
Now, what do you think the difference is with Charles looking for the jumper some games and other games not as much?
Well, it's what's open. You know, it is what's open, and he'll take it. He's one of our best perimeter shooters, and there were a lot of opportunities for him. And I don't mind that shot as long as it isn't something that's out of the rhythm of the offense. And that goes for everybody, you know, as far as an open shot goes. But he can knock him down. He was in a groove tonight. Guys were looking for him in the first half. And, you know, but his board game and his defense, you know, just making a great effort, I think, you know, sort of transcends even the fact that he hits open shots. When he hits open shots, you know, I think that's like a big, big plus for us because it's just another thing that we can get. And you know, he bounced back after what he felt was a bad performance against Chicago. He felt real bad about that, and that's a great sign for a veteran and a captain to come off, you know, and take the individual responsibility of not having a good game against Grant, and taking the loss, and coming back. And regardless of who the opposition was, he played hard, played real hard.
Greg shot the ball near perfectly. I think he missed one free throw. He also seemed to play like under a lot of control. Is that one good game?
Well, he knows, you know, I mean, you know, losing Doc, you know, maybe when there's an injury, you know, for a week or 10 days and you know somebody's going to be back. But this is a tough hit for us, and knowing Doc's going to be out the whole year, and that while we have to sort of find some continuity with John and Hubert at the point guard, there's a big responsibility on him. I think he can handle it. He's just got to, you know, if he continues to play hard and distributes the ball and takes care of the ball for us, you know, we know what he can do when he's playing well and when he's in that groove. So he played very well tonight.
Is the best you've seen him this year tonight?
Well, this year, yeah. You know, I think
The Coaches Conference brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. It's a different kind of coach as well. Oh, the way the Mavericks are playing, and for the sake of their fans, you can only hope there's no such thing as Mavericks Rewind.
The Knicks are jamming at midnight in an encore play of tonight's Knicks game. It's the Knicks Rewind at midnight, right here on MSG.
News, Curtis, what can we find out from the Knicks locker room?
Well, first of all, Rolando Blackman was happy at the news that he's going to play. At least that's what Pat Riley said. And he likes the idea. He said he's not that comfortable playing the small forward position, but he's okay. He wants to try to help the team rebounding, which is something he's never done in his career. But I think he's happy with the opportunity, and that's all he wants.
How about one more thought?
Well, Greg Anthony said he felt great out there. He's been relaxed, and he's concentrating more on the team as opposed to his individual effort. And as long as he does that and play relaxed, he thinks he can contribute.
All right, Curtis, thanks a lot. Let's switch now to the Dallas Mavericks locker room. Boy, that must be a fun place.
Not a fun place. The coach isn't that happy. The players aren't that happy. Talking to Derek Harper, he said, you know, I'm just sick of the losing. He said, it's just compounded by the fact that we lost last year and now all we're doing is lose again. He said, but I certainly don't want to be the problem child in here. I'm always seem to be the one complaining. He said, you know, I'd like to be over there, pointing to the Knicks. He said, I think I could do everything they want me to do. I could take away all my scoring skills. They don't need me to score 30 points. I'll get the ball to Patrick. I can get the ball to John. I can apply leadership to their offense. He says, I'm the man they need. And, you know, it was almost like he was giving a verbal resume to me to give to the fans, and maybe if the Knicks are listening, he really wants to be here.
And, you know, from the Fletcher Christian School of Mutiny, you don't want to let a player like Jamal Mashburn say something like that against the coach publicly. But after watching the team tonight, while disagreeing with his method, his point seems to be well taken. This offense does not seem to be structured to allow Jimmy Jackson or Jamal Mashburn to flourish at all.
Well, I spoke to Mashburn, and he said, listen, he said, I've just come to the conclusion that this is a league where the level of play is higher. I've never lost in high school, never really lost that much in college. He said, but you do have to know you need a big man, and they don't have that. He said, you need other good players around you. He said, I really can't complain about anything anymore. It seems like that the players there have gotten the idea, hey, trashing Quinn Buckner's not going to do the job here. We've got to go out and play, but they really don't have the necessary talent to go out and play and win.
All right, a couple of little incidents with the coach of the Dallas Mavericks tonight and Doug Smith, and then one with Derek Harper. He also had a moment of discussion with his assistant coach. But after the game, he went back with the assistant coach and adjusted his tie hanging out on the court. Did you get to the bottom of this one, Mike?
I did, and he really didn't have an answer. When I asked him, he said, I mean, what are you doing, man? He says, they caught me looking at a tie. He goes, I mean, what's the big deal? I'm trying to find wins. I don't know if he could find any wins in that tie, but he didn't have any kind of answer whatsoever on what he was doing. He almost seemed like a daze when I asked him about it. He seems like a guy who's trying to keep an up profile. He said, no, we're not worried about breaking the record. We're doing fine. He said, if we didn't find any confidence and if we didn't find any improvement over this time, then I'd be worried. He said, but I see little things all the time getting better and better and better. And, I'm just thinking, if this is better and better, what were they like before they started getting better? This is a team that needs some help, and I think Quinn Buckner right now is struggling. He really is. He looks like a rookie coach out there.
They could tie the NBA record if they lose the next game, which is against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks roll easily over the Dallas Mavericks, 101-92. Next up for the Knicks on MSG, it'll be here at the Garden Thursday. They'll take on the Atlanta Hawks. It's the battle of number 1 and number 2 in the East. Game night begins our coverage at 7. Next, we take you live to the play-by-play with Mike Francesa and Jennifer Smith, Anthony Bonner, Maureen McGovern, Robin Leach, and Nicole Miller. For Marv and John, Michael Kay, and Walt Clyde Frazier, I'm Al Troutwick. Thanks for joining us from courtside tonight.
Some months wind up being
the Cowboys and
that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Buy Hertz. For business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle.
to the underpublicized tight end Howard Cross. He's in for the touchdown. 2 scoring passes for Sims, and it's 14-0. The Saints answer, though, with a shovel pass. And Dalton Hilliard, the veteran from LSU, all the way down to the Giant 20, but the drive stalls. And you know that conservative Jim Moore? Well, they had the fake field goal. Tommy Barnhart to Brad Muster. They get the first down, eventually the touchdown, so they're only trailing 14-7. Second half. Garrett Bunch, watch the hit. Gene Atkins knocks his helmet off. He was all right, though. Sims hit by Ricky Jackson. The veteran linebacker knocks it loose. Vince Buck recovers. First Giant turnover in 4 games. But Wilson just not even close, getting booed by the hometown fans. And then Mike Fox nails Wade Wilson. But as he is injured, the Superdome crowd, well, this is the way they reacted. They actually cheered the injury. Mike Buck came on, didn't make much of a difference. But Dave Megan sealing the deal. 75 yards. Nobody going to get him for the touchdown. And the Giants putting away the New Orleans Saints 24-14. Meggett's punt return for the touchdown was the 4th of his career. Phil Sims 15 of 23 for 166 yards. So the Saints now even at 7-7. They close out the season against the Eagles and Bengals. Believe it or not, they're still in the playoff hunt. The Giants play at Phoenix before coming home to host the Cowboys in what looks like a game that will decide the NFC East champion.
We will have post-game interviews from the Superdome momentarily. But in case you're just joining us from the Monday night game, we aim to please. Here are the top NBA games of the night. And the last time the Bulls